friends, here we are again in the Paq-Man's Corner. And today we have a very special guest. I have been very lucky for great pianists, from Jorge Dalton, Hilton Ruiz, to Bebo and Chucho Valdez, and so many, Michel Camilo, so many other great pianists. And the pianist that we have tonight is one of my favorites of all times. It's the fantastic Makoto Ozone from Tokyo, Japan.
Well, I have something to present here.
Oh, you are. Oh, but the blue note. I wonder if the picture that we have together in the dressing room was the
Yes.
same
Oh, yeah,
one.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. You
We
sent
have
it
the
to me.
picture.
19. This was September 2nd through the September 7th. So it was a whole week at the Blue Note, New York, 1986. This is
80,
this is when we met.
86.
This is amazing, right? This is my
1980.
one of the biggest memory of my life.
So who was playing piano with me in that occasion?
I think it was Daniel Freiberg.
He was
Yeah,
Friday
he was because
already.
yeah, man, it was a shocking thing for me to see the real Latino pianist playing the music. I was like, wow, because I've always been a fan of Latin music. You know, 'cause Latin music is so big in Japan. My father loved Latin music. I grew up listening to it, but then to see the real thing, you know, right in front of me, it was like, wow, okay. And he gave me a lot of tip about how to comp, as well as Claudio. He taught me how to play bossa nova.
Claudio was there too, and I
I
think
know, I
Portillo,
miss him.
right? Portillo was playing drums probably.
See, yeah, he was
Portillo
the man. Yeah, he was
and,
a drummer. Yeah,
and maybe Sergio Blandao or Lincoln Goins.
I think it was the Lincoln Goins. Yeah, I think it was the Lincoln. Yeah.
You know that Lincoln Goins the first time that he played a bass solo, he was a very good bass player all the time, but accompanying all the time. The first time that he played the solo was with me in that gig. And he didn't expect it. So we rehearsed, and then I
Uh
said,
huh.
now you play. What? No, you told him, play. Play what? Play solo, play a solo. Okay.
Oh, I see, I see, I see. So that was a very gig then, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But remember, we played 6 nights there, and I had my trio. I think it was Joel Lockwood from Boston, and then Marty Richards on the drums.
It's
And
very young drummer.
yes, yes, yes.
Marty, I remember that.
Marty, he's a great drummer. He was a drummer for Gary Burton for quite some time. And then towards the end of the week, we couldn't tell which band is which because I was playing with your band and you were playing with my band.
Yeah,
So it's like
that was
it
so
was
much fun.
it was a big party, man. It was so great. That's when I really learned how to play the real stuff.
Well, you have that condition that you can understand music very very easily because you play Brazilian music so good. For some people, for some jazz players, it's so hard to understand that to coming from the pam padam 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 to the pa 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 pa
Oh
pa.
yeah, yeah, right, right. Yeah. It's that little, if I can say it right, but it's like a little laid back, kind of crooked feel, instead
Yeah,
of da 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 da, there's a da 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 da, that kind of the groove. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like in the tambourine, like they do ta 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 ta.
See,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
talk about takaraka takaraka takaraka
That's
takaraka.
right.
You cannot.
You-
They don't explain that to you in the conservatory.
That's right, right. That's right. Well, I mean, one thing I think I grew up listening to it all the time, so it was kind of natural for me. But I could never really, I never had a chance to play with the real people. So it was a good test for me to play with you, and then and I had a basics done. Basically I was doing right, but then I was putting accent in wrong places. So Claudio came to
Well,
me. So no, Makoto, that's not how you play bossa nova. You put a heavy accent on the third beat. That. Yeah, the pseudo thing. Yeah,
surdo thing. El
yeah, yeah.
surdo is
So that just put everything in the right spot. And
for those
so,
of you that doesn't know what a surdo is a bombo. It's a bass drum, a Brazilian bass drum
see.
that they play in escolas de samba. Those big
Mm,
in Cuba they call it comparsa, and then
mm,
the instrument play in the upbeat, and that is very confusing for people that don't know Latin music. Most drum playing in Latin music you know, it goes in the second, in the upbeat. So sometimes, especially in symphony orchestras, the conductor hear the boom, 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 boom. Sometimes he thinks it's the bop, boom, bop, boom. Say, no, 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 no,
Also
no.
backwards. Yeah, right.
Thing happened in Cuban music with the conga.
Ah.
If you have a conductor that is not aware of that, so he start doing like no, no, no.
It's backwards, yeah.
No, the same thing with the high hat.
That's right, yeah.
Chop, chop, chop. That happened to me, not too many times, but when it happened, it's a nightmare. You don't know what to do when the conductor sings.
Backwards, yeah.
Ay, 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 ay.
Right, right.
It's interesting that Oscar Estañaro, our bass player for so many years, and Chucho Valdez had the same recommendation for pianists or for bass players. They're like, what can I do to improve my piano player or my bass playing? And the answer was always the same. Say, buy yourself a conga.
Ah. That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, you know, because the piano becomes percussion in a way, not just playing chords, you know.
Yeah, it's like a harmonic percussion instrument.
Yeah, right. You know, which is that's a very good point, because I say that to my students, my piano students, to play the drums, so they get the idea of how to create the sentence with the rhythm, you know, instead of just playing. They go. So that's what the snare drums, you know, that but yeah.
I
So
never
that's
thought of those,
same thing, yeah.
in those terms. That's
Right?
interesting. So
Yeah,
you
right.
can play like the snare drums in bebop music.
Exactly, yeah. So the piano player becomes sort of like a snare drum. That's how you get connected with the drummer. That's so much fun, yeah.
That is very interesting, and
Yeah.
it's such an important thing. Miles
Cheers.
Davis,
Coffee.
good. Miles Davis, he recommended the trumpet player. I said, what can I do to play my trumpet better? I said, buy a piano. But in order to tell the pianist what to do to improve my piano, I said, buy yourself a drum set or a conga.
Well, actually, that's true, because you learn a lot from other instruments that you play with, you know, as you feed off each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's because I've been teaching at college, music college in Tokyo. It's very hard to teach, because you basically want to teach them how to listen instead of how to play, right? Because if you're a good listener, you're already a good musician.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Something relative to that happened to me in Sapporo. In Sapporo. I was playing the jazz festival there with Dizzy and Carmen McRae, and Art Blakey was there.
What a lineup. That's a great lineup.
Sapporo, no, in Beppu.
Beppu, okay, right. On Kyushu.
They have those steam
yeah, the hot spring, yeah.
Interesting that. Well, that was so much fun. And then I remember that Carmen had a musician that played in the group, very good musician, but very young. Very young. But he was very impressive, because he plays, you know, a lot of phrases and all that. He was like a well, you know, like a faucet open with the water and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned to Carmen, that guy plays a lot, man. He's fantastic. And Carmen said, yeah, he plays a lot, but he don't listen shit. He said, what do you mean? He said, Mina, listen, kid. You have to remember this, that it's more important to listen than to play sometimes.
Yeah.
Many times. It's better to listen. Play what you have to do, and then don't play nothing and listen to what's happening around you. And what you just say is interesting to me. When you are a good listener, you probably will become a good musician.
Yeah. That's always the key. Yeah, that's always.
Yeah.
Well, Burton, Gary Burton told me how to do that. He taught me literally from word to word. Because when I first played with them, this is an interesting experience for me. And my goal when I was a student was to be another Oscar Peterson. I wanted to be the fastest piano player in the whole world, you know. And then, so I met Gary, and we played. I still remember, we played the Stella by Starlight together, and I played my solo for two courses, and then I gave solo to Gary, and he played about 8 bars, right? And he said, "Okay, Makoto, stop." I said, "What did I do? Did I get off?" Because no. Did I play wrong changes? No. What did I do? So, well, you didn't do really anything, but describe my solo. And I said, "Ooh, I didn't remember
Describe.
anything."
He said,
Yeah, describe his solo. Describe what he did, what he played, and I could not remember. So he said, "Well, see, that's what it is, because you were listening, you were not listening." I said, "Well,
wow.
I was listening, but then," and he said, "You were listening to my solo you were using my solo to come up with what you're gonna play." So I was still focusing on what I was going to play with my changes, a little reharmonization, little triplets here, backbeats, whatever. So I didn't remember his solo. I was not complete. I was using his solo to come up with what I'm going to play. I was like, oh my God, I never thought of that. So that's whole everything started about comping.
You know how I call that? Me, myself, and I.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that is not good
yeah,
for music. Very clever
right,
thing. Yeah, you're
yeah,
supposed
right,
to play. Again, here we go. Listening is more important than playing.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
Bob Clayton, that old wonderful trumpet player with Ellington and all those swing era band, he say this remark he say that first than nobody else. He say the more important notes are not the one that you play, the one you leave out.
yeah.
Those are the
That's
good
that's
notes.
very true. You
Why
you
you
need
don't
you
play?
need the guts to leave some space. Yeah, it's always scary not to play. Yeah.
Well, I had a
Mm,
teacher
mm.
that he say it was a classical teacher. It was my clarinet teacher. It was a symphonic player. He say silence is a lot more important than
Mm,
music.
hmm.
What do you mean? Nothing is more important than music. No, silence was here before music. So silence have all the rights.
That's perfect.
And
Wow. That's great.
some people are too busy filling
Mm.
all the holes. And
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes you do boom and play nothing. Play nothing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
such an important. The use of the space is so important. But you
Mm.
learn that only by playing around.
That's true. That's true.
Especially when
That's
you
true.
play with Gary Burton.
Yeah, exactly. He was a great
How did you met
teacher.
him? How did you met him? Probably in Boston, no?
It was at Berkeley. I met him when I was graduating, and
Hmm.
this is we played in the same concert. We didn't play together. He came back to teach at Berkeley in 1983, and I was graduating. So I played in the first half of the concert, and he played with the students' big band in the second half. And I played so fast, it was like rhythm change right here, right here.
Impressive.
So yeah, very impressive. And then I met Gary in the backstage, and he was like this. Sounds very nice. So he was complimenting, and so I said, okay, thank you. That was it. And a week later, my teacher, piano teacher, was Ray Santisi. He's a great piano player.
Wow,
And
your teacher
yeah,
was Ray Santisi.
yeah, there was Ray Santisi. I studied with him for 4 years at Berkeley. We basically
Wonderful.
played a lot of songs together. Yeah, he was great, man. He
Oh,
was
I
a really
never
great
met
player.
him. But I admire him through his, all his recordings. And Ray's a very good composer too.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he showed me all the great harmonies and everything. So Ray gave me this gig to play background music at Lee Burke's house. You remember Lee Burke? He was the president of Berkeley.
Of course, I met him. I met him
Yeah.
in Havana, in my neighborhood.
Oh, really?
That's,
Of
that's
all
a different.
places.
That's a different story. Lee Berg and Alma Berg.
Oh, Alma. Yeah, Alma Berg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her mom. Yeah.
So what happened?
Oh, yeah. So I went there and then I was playing background music. And when you play background music, you don't play loud or fast. You play nice ballads, nice changes. And I was playing all the standards. And I noticed someone standing behind me, And so I was playing and playing, and I took a break. I closed the piano, and I turned around. That was Gary Burton, and he told me, "Well, so you can play piano after all." So I said, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Well, come to my office tomorrow anyway. We'll talk. Let's talk, and let's play something together." And my playing, my background music playing got him really interested because I was playing more music, not just showing off.
Yeah.
So then we played the Stella by Starlight,
We all did. We all did that.
Yeah. It's,
That happened.
that's my goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened with people that had a mechanical facility. Some people have the ability, Some people don't have it, and sometimes it's even better. But well, it's good to have that. But with time, you learn that weapons are not to be shooting in the neighborhood,
Yeah, right.
It's just an emergency. So you learn that only when you play around.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you, Paquito, because you cover, we both play kind of classical. I started later, but you play classical and Latin and jazz. I mean, and you play so many instruments. You play just about anything as far as I know.
No,
and
Scott Robinson play anything.
Oh, but did you start playing classical first? Well, you were born in Cuba, so Latin music was your natural thing, of course. But
yeah, I was in the environment. But
I see.
my father was a classical saxophone player.
I see. Okay.
He never had the ability to improvise, but he loved the music of the tenor sound of Leslie Young and Stan Getz.
Right.
I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, right.
And he loved the Ellington Orchestra, but especially the Benny Goodman Orchestra.
Ah, okay.
With Lionel Hampton and
the swing music. Yeah.
Yeah, the wonderful Teddy Wilson. He is still one of my favorite pianists.
Yeah, Benny Goodman, I grew up listening to it too, but then Teddy Wilson was my father's favorite pianist. Oh. Yeah, and they met actually. They met.
No kidding.
Yeah, Teddy came to my city, Kobe, and he came to my dad's jazz club and played his piano. And yeah, there's a picture of that actually. Oh, he was so proud. Yeah.
Teddy Wilson, I enjoy his playing so much because he's one of those pianists that he knows how to use the space too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it's all beauty all over his playing. Every note that he plays, even comping.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. And the swings. And he was, for me, master of making a great intro. This the record of Benny Goodman. I think the trio. There's a trio and quartet pieces, but this was played in trio, and Benny played a whispering. Like. Right, and then the Teddy's intro was so short, but it's so tasty and it's so short and it's so perfect. I was like, wow, this is. And I share that with the students, And
you've been following Teddy Wilson because you sound exactly like Teddy Wilson.
I love this playing too. And then I moved on to Errol Garner. Of course, Errol also was in Boston playing at the Copley Square, hotel. Yeah, all these great pianists.
Yeah. You saw Errol Garner playing live? You saw him?
I could not see him because he passed away before I got to Boston. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Boston to see him live, but then he passed away right before I got there. So yeah, he passed away like late 70s because I got to Boston in 1980. I could hardly speak English then. I always say thank you with an S, not with a TH.
Thank you, right?
Thank
Well,
you, thank you.
well, we too say thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to mention that Wynton Marsalis, he was
Hmm.
in Havana last year or something, and somebody told me the story
Mm.
of there is a tendency of young players there that have very good techniques to play fast things and all that. And Wynton was there, and the kids wanted to impress him. So,
Sure.
what do you want to play? And then the kids say, let's play giant steps.
Of course, of course.
Wynton, of course, yeah, giant steps. And Wynton said,
Yeah.
I don't know that one, but do you know San Luis Blues? And they
Uh-huh.
play each other. And San Luis what? You don't know San Luis Blues, and you want to play giant step.
Uh-huh.
Fred, before you know giant, I am sure that Coltrane, before writing giant step,
Uh-huh.
he plays San Luis Blues. So let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. 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 Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good one too. Yeah.
yeah. It happened that young people, they have to understand that you have to know where you're coming from in order
Mm-hmm.
to know where you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
All those great players, great composers like Chick Corea or Ellington, they know what happened before them.
Yeah. Really. 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 Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, they all came from there. All the traditions. I don't want to sound like I'm forcing everybody to learn all those old songs, but it's all just the fundamentals of how the music works. And if you don't get the joy out of playing those simple chords, and then why are you playing music? Because
yeah,
everything, all the complex stuff is based on, it's just evolution of what the fundamentals are, you
yeah,
know. So if you just get the top part of the tree, and without checking out the roots of the tree, someday you get tired of playing all this because you don't understand the fundamentals of music and why, if you don't understand, if you cannot feel, why you play the music,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you stay there, like everybody said, come on, one more, and they go, ah,
Ah,
so just right. I mean, it's
drop,
that. It's
drop in
that
the shoe,
simple,
yeah. Drop the
it's
other
that
shoe,
simple,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the classical stuff. Yes, I start uh,
Mm-hmm.
because my father was a classical player.
Sure.
He practiced. He was retired from the army, so he practiced like 26 hours a day. And
Mm.
then when he felt that I need the improvisation part, he took me to some of his friends to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you? Because I think your father was a jazz organist, right?
Yeah, he started out on piano, and he moved to organ because the Hammond organ came into Japan in the 1950s, and then so my first instrument was organ because he had a Hammond at home, and I played the piano at the age of 5. I took a piano lesson for the first time. I just hated it. I just didn't like the reading all the practice pieces. Like, very good. No, it's not very good. It sucks.
That is Hammond, the Hammond.
Canon, yeah, Hammond and Bio, whatever. And then but
Jeremy.
anyway, yeah. So my father, he was playing more Hammond, but he was originally a pianist, a Dixieland pianist. And
Oh,
interesting because those are the days when he was growing up in Japan. A lot of guys, boys are. It's still sort of happening nowadays. Not as much as used to, but the piano or playing piano or music is for girls. Like, so if he actually, my grandfather was not happy that my father was playing piano. I said, what are you doing? That's a girl's stuff. Really, this was the truth. And my father had to hide practicing piano. As soon as my grandfather leaves home and he goes to the piano and he play anything he can, and as soon as his dad comes back, and he would stop, you know.
I,
So
I,
he was.
I thought that happened only in the Caribbean, the machismo in Latin America. So in Japan too?
No, no, it's a very kind of man chauvinistic, kind of very interesting concept. You know, I mean, you wouldn't even think of it now, but still, a lot of guys, boys play baseball, basketball in Japan, and a lot of sports, but not. You know, if you go to music, it's like that's a girl stuff. It's
Uh,
it's not true anymore, but it's still there. I see it. And a lot of guys, boys, are more interested in doing sports, and which is okay. I mean, they should do what they like. But in my father's days, it was like almost, taboo to play the piano for boys. Yeah.
wow, look at for me that
Yeah.
is so interesting that I find that out. And, I had a friend who is a writer, Armando Lopez. This is his name. Very funny guy, very very clever person. And he said, when I was a kid, my
Hmm.
father my father didn't want me to play the piano
Hmm.
because that was an activity for gay people.
Right, right.
That's,
Okay.
that's an activity for gay people, girls and gay people. Now
Hmm.
I am 60 years old. I am a
Yeah.
gay old man, and I don't know how to play the piano.
You're funny.
I am gay anyway. I don't play the piano. It's still not funny.
But I like your shirt though, Paquito.
Oh, thank you. You know the shirt. This is not the $3 shirt. This is not the one.
Oh, okay.
Remember the $3?
That's,
I almost, I
yes, yes.
almost wear the $3 shirt today.
Oh
Next time,
yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, uh, we
One
have
more
people.
one more question I have for you, which
Yeah,
is I want to share this with my the students. I mean, you train yourself to become a good musician, you practice and you compose and you challenge every day, every gig and so forth. But then, you have this natural, I shouldn't say natural because I know you worked on it, to have a great rapport with an audience. You come out, I mean, and you grab people's heart and you play your music and you have such a great connection. You established a good connection with the audience. And, because basically when you first come out onto the stage, you're focusing on playing the right notes and playing great music and you're focusing yourself, but you give so much. You give your love, you share your power and energy and love with the audience, and then you draw them into your heart, and you become connected. And how do you do that? And it's like you seem so natural with it.
it's very natural for me. I will tell
Hmm.
you something. The other day I saw an interview of Yo-Yo Ma with
Hmm.
some students or I don't remember, students and journalists and all that. And then he said, now I have Yo-Yo is like that too. He like to connect with people.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, sure, yeah,
really
he's
wonderful.
great.
He
He's
was
yeah.
wonderful. So he asked, I have a question for you. You know what is my favorite activity? What I love to do the most?
Mm.
And the people, and he said, and don't say he's playing the cello because he's not. Because
Mm.
no, I said, no. What I love is the connection with people, talking to
Mm.
you. I am enjoying more talking to you than what I enjoyed before playing the cello.
Uh-huh.
And the same thing, before I play music, I like to be connected with people, to ask how
Mm.
they're doing. And look who's in the audience. That give me a confidence in what I'm going to be doing.
Ah, yes, yes.
Even if and that authorize me a little bit to make mistakes.
Hmm. Sure.
Because people now say, you are those are poor guy, man. He make a mistake. It's not that everybody make mistakes. I know.
Yeah.
I like the connection with people, as well as I like the connection with the musicians that play with me.
Of course, yeah, that's very important. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, you sort of open yourself and then connect with people. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very important. Yeah, but I
Okay.
guess but some people might, some people are very shy,
Yeah. Well,
and
everybody.
so I don't know if you have any method, something you do, or you focus on you go out there and you look at them and then say, hey, how you doing? Or something like that.
I think people feel better.
I agree.
They
I
have a
agree.
connection with the artist. When you say,
Mm-hmm.
I saw you before. You
Mm-hmm.
never saw the guy, but you're standing there. You know something, that's a nice tie. Something like that. Or that's a
That's
horrible
very nice.
tie. Where do you find that tie? I think it's important, the connection. The same, another advice that I give to the people that want to have a working band is surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
We have enough problems in the world, traveling and all that,
Yes,
on the road, and with the pandemic, and everything that is negative. That go to your house or to the stage, you need to be surrounded by people that are positive. That Tommy Dorsey, who was not, they say was not a very pleasant person to work with.
Oh, okay.
He's telling me, give me an asshole who can play good.
Okay.
I don't believe in that.
No, that makes everything worse.
Maybe if you are working in a symphony orchestra, the contrabasses are there, and I play the second viola, maybe work like that. But when you play this type of music, it's about improvisation.
Yeah.
It's about connection. It's about to listen to and enjoying what the pianist or the drummer that. I think it's important to surround yourself with nice vibe people,
That is very true.
To enjoy each other playing.
Yeah.
That's the way I work, and I have had also, like everybody else, I have had also unpleasant moments in my career, but not too many, because I try to surround myself with people with good vibes.
Yeah.
People that enjoy each other. Well, my band, all of them, Diego and Oscar and you, when we play together, we have fun,
That's true. It's one of my dreams is to make play the Cuban music, like music with you one of these days, because like was big hit in Japan. We had he was really
the Tokyo Cuban Boys.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Korner Cuban Boys.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I still play, the like Gitaneria. Yeah.
Gitaneria.
Yeah, that's what a great melody, man. I mean, all these great songs. And this was, I think it was a Montreux Jazz Festival about 25 years ago. There was a bar that we were hanging, Horacio El Negro and Charles Flores we were talking about. And we had this idea of making a Cuban Lecuona music with a trio. It never happened. But if I play Cuban music, I want to play with the real deal people. And that's you.
Charles Flores, that was a wonderful basis.
I know.
Wonderful. Yep. And El Negro, that could be a really good trio, man.
Right?
Don't leave me out.
Okay, no, you're in.
Please
you're
go. First. I'm talking about classical and all that. Always I go around the world talking about, still today I am, like that. When I saw you playing the Paganini variations on the Paganini, the Rachmaninoff variations on the Paganini theme.
That was a challenging piece, yeah.
It's like almost an hour long.
No, it's about half an hour, but it seems like an hour long. It's a lot of notes in there,
And
a lot of notes,
wonderful notes. And I saw you playing that piece, and I was so impressed because I have seen other people playing the piece very good. No la Makoto Ozone, nobody.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Don't touch my mustache.
Yeah.
I learned that from you. So you start as a jazz pianist,
Mhm.
jazz study. just studying pianist. How did you become a classical pianist? Because that
Well,
is something heavy.
yeah, I started to listen to classical music when I was when I had my debut, because I my goal was to be like an Oscar Peterson. I wanted to be almost a clone. They called me a clone of Oscar Peterson. I was very happy actually, because I didn't think I was going to be making CDs worldwide. But when I got the record contract with CBS, we were on CBS together at the time in 1980s. Um, I had to come up with on my own music. So I started to listen to a lot of classical music to as a composer to see if I get any ideas, because anything I played sounded like OP. You know, truly, because I spent literally 10
Chucho
years
was that
listening.
too. Chucho,
What's that?
Valdez used to be like that too. Chucho.
Oh yeah.
When I met him, was very young. Was younger than I am,
Uh-huh.
but he played exactly like Oscar Peterson, and
Wow.
that is not easy task to do.
Yeah, right. And yeah, no, that's
So,
not.
so
But anyway, so I was listening to a lot of classical music, but then I never thought I would play piece. Uh, my first experience of listening to the classical music seriously was Prokofiev Piano Concerto number 3. 'Cause that's a great clarinet start intro in there, and then I stole a lot of harmony from there, and ideas. But much later, Chick opened the door for me. We played the Mozart double piano concerto at the jazz festival that he was producing,
where?
and it was a lot of fun. This was in Tokyo, actually. Outdoor concert in 1980, no, 96, I think. I remember. We still talk about it, and then that was it. And then it was nothing happened for a few years, and I got an offer from Sapporo Symphony to be a soloist. And the conductor, I didn't know, never met him, but his name is Tadaaki Otaka. He's a great conductor for NHK Symphony, and he's been conducting BBC. But he said on the radio, someday I love to play Rhapsody in Blue with Makoto Ozone. So I heard that. So when I got an offer from him, I said, okay, Rhapsody in Blue. So I took it. I took the offer, and the concert was 6 months away, and so I just took the offer and didn't check the program, what he wanted me to play. So I let it sit there for a few months, and I had my manager call him up just to make sure it's Rhapsody in Blue a few months later. and he called me back and said, you know what, Makoto? They said Mozart. I said, no, it can't possibly be Mozart. I thought he wanted to play Rhapsody in Blue, but I didn't check when I took the offer. And then I said, no, but can I call them back to see if they can change the program to Rhapsody in Blue? And orchestration is so different. So of course they said, no, we have to play Mozart. And I said, which Mozart?
Oh.
And then they said, well, you pick one, you're the soloist. And so I never played any Mozart concerto except the one that Chick introduced me to, which was double piano. So I couldn't do it this time. I had to learn the solo Mozart concerto. So I got in my car, drove to the record store, and I got myself, I asked the guy, I said, can you give me like a complete, Mozart concerto? And I had no idea. There were 27 freaking concertos, and it took me 10 days to listen to the whole CD. And then
How
I
much
picked
time you
number
did
9.
have?
Huh?
How much time you did have? How much time you did have to learn all that?
Well, I had about 6 months to learn it, so it wasn't bad. But still, it took me 10 days to listen to the whole 27 concerto. Then I remember we were in Warsaw together, and I played number 9.
Yeah, of course I remember.
Right? I mean, that's I picked number 9 and I played it, but I was nervous to death. I could not remember. I still don't remember how I played. And sometimes when you get older, you have a back problem, like you try to. I don't know how you say that in English, but your back sort of gives you this incredible pain like this, and you can't move, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That happened when I was playing the third movement. I was so nervous. I was so tense. And I'm playing and I felt something like this in the back. So, uh-oh,
Ah,
I'm not going to be able to stand up. So after the third movement, I stood up like this. And then I took a bow.
ah.
But anyway, that's how I got into it. And then that conductor, Tadaki-san, sent the word to all his friends, to orchestra. I said, "Oh, you should hear Makoto's Mozart. It's very unique. It's wonderful." So I got calls from all the different orchestras, and then we went to Warsaw. That was in 2007, right?
I played the concertino,
So
no, ever.
you played the Mozart concerto,
I
and I
played
played,
concerto.
yeah, I remember this with the Symphony of Varsovia,
Yeah, that
and
was
I,
cool.
2006, yeah,
Beautiful
2006, yeah,
hall.
yes, in Warsaw.
Beautiful hall.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't. I have a story about that concert. I don't know if you remember this. That was the very concert we shared the stage together. I came out, and then I started to play. I played the wrongest note in the beginning. Did you know that?
in the Mozart
I,
concerto.
yeah, the Mozart concerto, and you know, it goes, and then an orchestra takes over for about 2 minutes, right?
No.
And then my next entry is this orchestra is a, and I go, right? That's the
Yeah,
line, right? But
yeah.
my this finger slipped on the when I was supposed to play E flat. I go, that's what I
Ah!
played. I was like, I froze. And
Oh,
there's a recording of that, like this, and
ah!
then it sounded so stupid at the whole tone scale of all things. And then, you know,
Oh,
the I'm playing, you know, when I play concerto, you are like at the edge of the stage, and I saw like two, three ladies, you know, older ladies sitting right in front, and they're sitting like this. And when I played that, and they went like this, and then
ah.
I said, "Sorry." I remember I said, "Sorry."
You know that
That's
that's the
that.
best thing you can do. I'm sorry.
I was having, you know, I mean, that's one of the. It's not hard part. There's much harder part in a concerto, but that's like the beginning, and I goofed it. You know,
I
just perfect goof. Yeah.
always I comment around. Well, I talk about you so much, you know, all
Oh,
over the
thank you.
place. How you play? Well, we play that adagio that some, you know, many people know that the version that I invented on Mozart for that adagio. But always I comment when you play the third movement and you
Mhm.
improvise the entire movement with the piano. There is no piano part in that part.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that you see that in the rehearsal that I was rehearsing the Mozart concerto, and then you see just
Right.
to practice a bit. Why you don't play that with us? It's not piano part. So what? Wow, that was so much fun. You know that
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, yeah.
I don't feel like playing that concerto anymore if you are not around. Because I miss the piano part that never exists.
We must do it again. That's such a great concerto. Yeah. And then I love it because when you took the second movement to the E flat, you know, and then with the B flat cornet, that's so perfect. That's a right key for that, the bluesy thing. And I really admire that, you know, that's your it's so courageous of you to just go ahead and do it. And that's the spirit of jazz, you know, like the spirit of improvisation. I also share this with my students. Like, you know, they're good players, but sometimes they think too much. They worry too much. You know, what are they going to think if I play this? You know, but I think it's very important to just go for it and play it, and because that's how you hear, and that's you.
If
and that's all it is to it. There is to it.
if you do it with love and respect,
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
something goes wrong, I say, well, that was a bad idea. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
a bad idea. So
Yeah.
let's try another bad idea now.
Right, right.
So you know
There's
that.
another story, the recent story about this. I just recently played another Mozart concerto. It's A major and number 23. And it
uh,
goes to, right?
that
You
was
know,
that was the final one, right?
no, the final one is 27.
Oh,
There's
26.
a B flat. I remember, I played it, but I don't remember uh, yeah. Anyway, so this one orchestra plays the intro, very long intro, 2.5 minutes. So, and my entrance is, right? So that's the intro. It's beautiful. But when I was listening to the intro of the orchestra, I was trying to sing the melody of my entrance, and then only I heard was this. And I could not remember
In the
the
same
correct entrance. Yeah, that's the right key too.
the same key.
Yeah, I know. And then the first two notes are the same. Like, I, like, oh my God. I was like, okay, I'm finished. I'm like, listen to the orchestra. I'm like, okay, I'm done here. Goodbye to classical field.
You didn't do it, no?
No, I remember right before I played it. When I played this, oh yeah.
Oh, well, the good thing about us, and when you play things like that, is that we can improvise. In case you forget something, you can do. But some other people. There is another interesting story backwards with Marta Argerich.
Mhm.
The repertory well, probably you know this in symphony orchestras, they have the repertory that they know all that music already. You know, have been centuries of those pieces. You know that Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Tchaikovsky, they know the pieces. And she had to play a Mozart concerto with whatever with swing meta. So
Right.
there is no time to rehearse.
Right.
I arrived in the airport at 3, and the concert is at 4. So no problem. I know that concerto. We played that many times. So and she said, ladies and gentlemen, I said, Marta Argerich. So she sit at the piano, maestro. Pam, 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 pam. She played the concert. The concerto finished. That was not the concerto I was expecting you to play.
That's true. Yeah.
No, that she's Marta Argerich, and she knows all those concertos, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was even a different composer and everything. It was even I don't know Rachmaninoff, and then she was supposed to play I don't know Mozart or Chopin. They played something else.
Wow.
Those things happen in the stage. That's the way it is.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I was like sweating. Like this. Okay, this is it. I'm done. I'm finished. C'est fini. Finito.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing these days? No gigs, huh?
Well, actually, we've been blessed here in Japan. We are doing concerts. I just did a solo concert a couple of days ago. The things are kind of starting to happen here in Japan. Luckily, that we have much less number of infected people, and so we've been very, very, very lucky. So we're hoping that just this, the same thing would start happening in the world. I don't know what's going on, because the France has just another lockdown. they cannot go out at night.
And Italy too.
Italy too, right? Yeah. So I feel so sorry for what's happening there. But luckily here in Japan, and also I think China too, they're kind of starting to open up again. And I don't know what's causing this such huge difference. I hope they find out soon so that they would find a way or method of care or medicine or anything to make it more to an equal level.
Oh, well,
What's happening in New York now?
no,
New York is
the same thing at
yeah.
home. I have never worked more and made less money than now.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I know.
And if you know it, if you don't do this, what you do then,
That's true. That's true.
Music is our salvation.
Yeah, yeah.
We are blessed to have all this. We can write music and call the friends. Thanks God we have now the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
can see the friends and all that.
And we share this with people who truly need music. Yeah. When we had a lockdown here in Japan, they started on April 7th. And then, because I had been watching people, my friends Chick, or Bob James, doing their live streaming from their homes, I asked my sound guy to come over to put a couple microphones on this baby so I can start live streaming from my house. And we did a live streaming for 53 days in a row, every night at 9 o'clock.
I saw a couple of them.
You did?
And I sent you messages and all that. Hello, Pakoto.
That's right. You came a couple of yeah. No, thank you. So it was wonderful.
I remember this piano. This is the 9-foot Steinway, right?
Yeah, it's a 9-foot Steinway. I got it after about 3 years ago. Yeah, I had an Yamaha, but because I love playing Yamaha, but then when I play concerto, now I prefer Steinway. So I need to have a same instrument when I play concertos.
Oh.
So I'm practicing on this piece. I'm practicing this now. Prokofiev. Yeah.
I love that composer.
Yeah, he's wonderful. And yeah, go ahead.
It's very, sometimes musicians of the different type of music, sometimes they are too square and they don't want, just people don't want to hear anything else. That they only want it dizzy and monk and train, and classical people want only Mozart, Brahms, we have to open our mind to different.
Yeah.
It's important.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
I remember that once I was commenting with David Fink, the ineffable David Fink.
Yeah, I love that dude. He's a great bass player, but he's the funniest guy on earth.
Yeah, you and him are very good practical jokers.
Poor Jorge Rossi. I mean, he was our target all the time.
I think still I have that video around. The video.
You do?
Yeah.
That was a fun tour. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I talked to Fink because he played Brazilian music very well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And I think, how come that you understand that music, Brazilian music, is so good that we feel that surdo playing it, something. I use exactly the same 12 tones that Mozart, Rachmaninoff, Ellington, and Antonio Carlos Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim use. It's the same tones. So all you have to do is to see what order they are put it, but it's the same shit. That's what I love that. And it's true. All you need is some understanding of the music or the different styles of music. Always I say that you don't have to be Austrian to play Mozart.
Right.
You can
I
be
agree.
Japanese. You can be Japanese, for example.
Yeah. Misuzu, she's an actress, and I just saw her did a play. She's finished, but this was written by Arthur Miller, called "All My Sons." What great book, wonderful script.
Yeah.
And that's something I always feel the similarity between musicians and who can play different kinds of music is like a great actor. You know, some actors just play one kind of style and becomes a star. But then it's harder for movie stars because the image of that one character. If you become, for instance, James Bond, it's hard to play different character because the image is too strong and it sticks. You know, but like in theater play, great actors always play completely different characters and completely different type of human being, which is to I think to be really interested in finding out what this character is. You know, like if you are this person, how would you feel? That kind of. So that's why I always wanted to play with the right people when I play Cuban music or Brazilian music or straight ahead jazz or Japanese music. You go with the first class, that particular professional people, so you know you can guess or assume or feel how they're feeling and share that vibe and
They're not assimilating it.
yeah. So first step for me is to mimic, just play, try to play like them, and then once you're able to play like them, forget that, but then try to feel what they're feeling, you know, because if you play the certain rhythm, you should feel something,
Yeah.
and instead of just on the surface. And so I admire that with a lot of actors, and she's unbelievable. That she every role she plays is like it's completely different person. Wow, how could you do that? You know,
Well,
it's
every composer is totally different.
right.
You don't play Prokofiev the same way you play Haydn.
No, you can't. You know,
You don't play the music of Ellington the same way you play the music of Ornette Coleman, for example.
no,
And
you can't do that.
it's totally different, but anyone can do it. You know, if you have the
Mm.
talent first, and then you have the perseverance, you know, to the respect to the music to do what is inherent to the style.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the fun part of music. Is like you can experiment, you can travel around the world. You
From
know.
play to the other, yeah, without
Yeah,
moving.
yeah.
Makoto
Man,
Ozone,
yeah.
I have been so lucky with pianists. I never learned to play the piano, but I have been so lucky since the very beginning of my career. Among my pianists and my friend, like Ray Brown said, my best friends are pianists. He said, yeah, Ray Brown used to say that, and he said,
Yeah.
I understand.
Hmm.
I have had people like Jorge Dalto, Hilton Ruiz, Bebo Chucho Valdez, Michel Camilo, Alex Brown, Pablo Singer, and Pablo Ziegler, Pablo Francetti. And among all those, you are one of my favorites. I am
Oh, thank you.
thankful to that life put yourself in my path. And
Oh,
you are not only a great
thank you.
pianist, but you are a dear friend. So, how very soon we can play some music together. And if
Yes,
you get
absolutely.
better,
Yeah.
thank you for being here with us and hope to see
No,
you.
thanks for inviting me, man. And give my love to Brenda.
All right.
Okay. Ciao for now.
So this song is called I Remember This.
I remember this, yeah.
I Remember This.